just talking to people. You know what I'm saying? It's conversations, and I'm good at that. I have a natural gift from God to be able to communicate with people and relate to people. And I learned so much from talking to people. The best thing that I ever learned in life is if you listen more than you speak, you'll always be able to understand somebody. And one thing that I learned is that we are much more alike than we are different. Just make that more complicated. Sitting on the steps, feeling no feeling. The Live Your Purpose podcast. I'm your host, John Morgan Jr. Before we get into, who our guest is for today, I want to just say thank you to everybody who's been supporting, the podcast. The first 8 episodes are available on audio platforms, Apple, Anchor, and Spotify. Episodes 2 through 8 are available on YouTube. Go to the YouTube page, subscribe to the page, comment, give me your feedback, like the videos. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. I want to hear all of that feedback in the comments. Let me know, who you feeling, who you not feeling, and all that type of stuff. So I want to give a special shout out to everybody who's been supporting. Also, I want to give a special shout out to, all the essential workers going on, and, who being affected during this time of the coronavirus. And we want to give a special shout out to everybody who has been affected, people who are most vulnerable during this time of the coronavirus. This is a very, uncertain and anxiety high ridden time, so our prayers and blessings go out to everybody right now. So without further ado, we're going to get into, who our guest is. I've known this guy for years, man, a long time,
Too long.
It's actually like, real good to be in the position to, interview and, have conversations and be able to have real relationships with. And that was like one of the reasons that I really wanted to start this podcast. I've said that about a few people on this podcast, but when I started this, there were a few people who I had in mind specifically who I wanted to highlight, and this individual was definitely one of them. So we got Mr. Tone Goodwin with us today. He is a husband, a father, and the CEO and founder of A Better Cleaning Service, which specializes in carpet cleaning for commercial and residential needs in the Akron and surrounding areas. Tone
Yes,
is
sir.
my Tone, man. Thanks for coming out today. What's happening with you?
No problem. I appreciate it, bro. How you?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. How your family and everybody doing during this time, man, in quarantine and all that?
Meechin turned into a major gamer. My oldest son, he a major gamer now, man. Then I get on Sports Center and stuff. I see gamers making millions, so I don't know if they're telling me to get off the game and go shoot some hoops or what. But no, everybody good, man. Everybody taking time out to get themselves together, learn each other, learning a little bit more about each other than we knew, being around each other so much.
Hey, that's interesting, man. I've been wanting to know, like, hear from people with, like, preteen kids and, like, kids who
he ain't no preteen. He 13, bro.
He 13? Oh, yeah, so it's lit. It's lit for me.
He 13, bro.
So how was being with them at the house all day, every day? You ready to get them out of there, or, like, they kind of be off on their own, so it's all good now?
Yeah, no. I don't really like them being off on long, because then when you feel like you alone. So I make them come out their rooms, man, go outside and play together, all kind of stuff. Like I said, we learning different stuff that you wouldn't. They talking to me more, in traffic, like when you walking through the house. Usually it'd be, hey, Dad, but now they gotta sit there, talk a little more, everything. Everybody just getting closer, I feel.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's good. Well, listen, man. So get into the business of ABC and all of that type of stuff, as we continue to talk. But first,
okay.
let's start at the beginning, man. Tell me what life was like for little Tone. For Tone going back in them early 2000s and late 90s. Like, what was it like for little Tone, man?
I mean,
it's all of it. What was life like for you as a little dude?
Just really sports, man. That was the main thing for me around that age. I was playing all sports, man. Baseball, football, basketball. Me and my mom. It was really mainly me and my mom. I have my uncles too, but mainly me and my mom. And I was spending a lot of time with my grandmothers, because the 2000s was about elementary, and that was all it really about for me was sports, man. I was the only child, so when I went to school, I acted silly because that was my time to really release myself. I ain't had nobody to talk to at home, that's besides my mom, like sibling-wise, but that was pretty much it.
Yeah. And so, you said it, off rip, man. Life was really about, I can relate to that. Like, and that was my life coming up too. It was You know, as black boys coming up in that time, if you wasn't doing sports, if you wasn't playing sports, 9 times out of 10, man, you had the, you know, opportunity to get into some shit that you ain't had no business getting into.
True. And it was a little different too, because I felt like the adults back then made more kids play sports. You really didn't have a choice. Even if you didn't have the money, you know, some people in the neighborhood and make sure to figure it out. Yeah, they look out to get kids into sports, man, because they already knew what it was. They were 2 steps ahead of us, so they already knew what it was. So I feel like our generation had a lot more kids playing sports. It was kids getting kicked out because it was too many. Mm-hmm. Like, damn, you got to go to another team now, you know. But now it's like getting back into coaching. It's not that many kids playing sports no more, man. That's kind of hurting us, I feel.
Yeah. And you're right, man. A lot of adults not forcing the hand for kids to, you know, get in sports. I was literally just talking to Seer 25, 30 minutes ago about, like, you know, the importance of, like, you know, Messiah when he gets up age. It's important. I think it's important for boys and girls to really play sports. But, like, you know, they have to be in something, man. They like, it's, to me, I value that. You know what I'm saying? I value kids being in sports. I think you learn a lot of life lessons from being in sports. So I agree with you on that.
No, you learn life being in sports.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Some of your best friends gonna come from sports. Go ahead. I'm sorry, bro.
You good. You and I actually really had our first real introduction with each other. You know what I'm saying? Between
you know why
sports. So go ahead, and
you know why.
Go ahead. This is a public forum. Go ahead. It's a platform. Go ahead and tell them your side of the story of how we really met. And go ahead and tell them, man. Go ahead. Get it out. Go ahead.
Well. We really met because my power forward and my center told me I had to give you work. That was all real. They said I had to give you work. So I didn't, like you said, I didn't know you. I knew of you, but we weren't really like that. Really, the story I'm about to tell really what like brought our relationship when we see each other. Now we in a speaking relationship.
That's a fact.
Because we both gave work that day, and we really gonna just get to the nitty gritty of it. We both gave work that day. But the story was y'all had us up 25 at halftime, and I came and went on like a crazy tear. I ended up with like 28, but you ended up with 25 in the game with a layup, man. Did we go
to OT that game?
We went to OT. We came back down 25. I hit the 36% at the OT.
Y'all did. We were smacking y'all at half. Y'all came back and won. What's the funniest thing about that story is, because like you said, when we would get around each other, we would always bring that up and talk about it. And people would just be around and like hearing us talk about it. But what's so funny is that a lot of people don't know, man, we was both on JV. We was telling JV.
Like it was varsity stories. Like it was hey, that game was so lit though. It was like a varsity game.
Hey, nobody ever knew we was telling JV stories, man.
Oh, JV story. The fourth in the OT felt like game 7. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to you.
That's a fact, man. That's a fact.
JV stories.
Yeah. So hey, so tell me this, man, because again, we competed against each other in high school. You was a little bit younger than me, but you ended up going to school out of state. And I don't think I ever really like heard that story of like, you know, number one, how that came about and like what that experience was for you. I know you ended up coming back, but like number one, where'd you go to school at? And like, what was that experience for you, you know, going to school out of town and all of that? What was that experience like for you?
So, that came about because I transferred from Firestone. I wasn't getting no looks or nothing like that. Then when I transferred to Bookto, I started getting a little bit more, you know, recognition, but I didn't have the grades from Firestone to Bookto. I just didn't have the grades. And then I got to Bookto. I got like a 3.2, 3.5 throughout the whole senior year. But my grades was so bad at Firestone that it wasn't really nothing that year was going to do. Right. So, I actually wasn't looking forward to going to school. My senior year, I started working out a lot with CDN, though. And then this is when CDN was really sending a lot of kids to school, and people who knew, college coaches knew who he was, and they were at most of the workouts. Okay. So from the middle of my senior year until like right before the summer started, we were going up to Kent State working out, and it was a coach up there for a prep school. It was called the Heat Academy. It was down in Virginia. So after the workout or whatever, he was like, okay, yeah, we want you. So see, Dan is the one who really started to get me into the process of like, oh, you should go to school to hoop. You can hoop good enough to go to college. So the plan was to go there, but then the coach ended up calling. See, then like, well, we don't have no more scholarships, so it'd be like $4,000 a semester. And Chris was like, no, none of my players is paying $4,000 a semester nowhere.
Right.
So this is how I ended up at Denmark, South Carolina. It's like 25 minutes away from Columbia, but it was a JUCO school coached by Donald Williams. If y'all know who Donald Williams is, he used to play for North Carolina. And when Chris Webber called the timeout, he shot the 2 free throws after the timeout.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that was my head coach down there.
Okay.
So I get down there, man. Everything was good. And honestly, I was just too young, and I never been by myself like that.
Okay.
Away from home and being an only child, and knowing my mom struggling to send me money down there. But everything I was down. Everything was free.
Right.
The only thing we didn't have was food. Like we ate at the cafeteria, but like playing college sports, man, you got workouts 2 times a day plus practice. So you working out in the morning, then you working out in the afternoon, then you going to practice in the evening. So all the meals that the school feeding you burning them off.
Right. Right.
So we hungry still. And then so we stayed in a big house with a big basketball house where all the basketball players stayed. But we weren't allowed to have no stove. We weren't allowed to have no big refrigerator in the kitchen or nothing. We had to have a small refrigerator and a microwave. So, I'm from the city. I'm in the middle of the country. I'm not used to nothing like this. Man. I got people sending me money, but it's like, man, why should they have to send me money? And I'm a grown man thinking like that.
How long was you down there?
I stayed the whole semester.
Okay, so
I stayed towards the end of basketball season when I left. I came back around January, February.
What you think, what the biggest experience that you did take from that, though, even though it was a short period of time, what you think you learned the most?
You can stick it out. If you can stick it out, stick it out. And I could have stuck it out. I could have stuck it out for sure. And like I said, everything was paid for. That's a free college 2-year degree just to hoop. You hooping, and all you got to do is do your work. Right. And if I wanted, I could have stuck it out. That was the biggest. Learning how to stick things out was one of the biggest things I learned from that. Because it wasn't that bad. It wasn't. Yeah. And it was a different experience.
What about any relationships with either your coaches or your ex-teammates and stuff like that? You still have any of those relationships to this day?
A couple of my teammates, yeah. Yep. Yeah. As soon as I got to Raleigh, I hit up my roommate. He stayed in Raleigh, North Carolina, and he did the same. He came up here from down there because he was actually playing for it was like a semi-pro team, but they was like traveling around. They was in Cleveland. He hit me up. Our schedules didn't link when he came to Cleveland, but yeah, for sure. You build a relationship and you stay with somebody 3-4 months. I ain't gonna do nothing but start talking.
And you know what, man? I interviewed a young dude yesterday. And his story is different because he actually went to school. And actually when he went to school, he's actually learned a lot of the skills and stuff like that that he applies today to be an entrepreneur. And I was telling him, I was like, well, it's just so interesting because I went to school for a long period of time. And although I enjoy what I do on a day-to-day, today, and I'm glad that I went to school, I didn't learn how to become an entrepreneur. I didn't learn, the importance of entrepreneurship at all from going to school. Like school didn't teach me
at all.
You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting to hear 2 different, stories and experiences like yours. You was out of state, you feel like you could have sticked it out or whatever, but still, it ultimately not being the decision that you made. And it looks like you made the right decision, man, because now you got your own business, you got your family, and it turned to work out for you, So it's just interesting to hear, different stories like that.
Right.
Tell me this, Tone, because again, man, I really want to try to highlight entrepreneurs on this platform. Tell me who were some of your earliest, mentors, or just experiences of people that you may have just seen, as entrepreneurs or had their own business, or could have just been people that you may have knew in the street, or just having some of your own family members. Who were some of the people that you just seen, really taking matters into their own hands and, not doing the traditional thing?
What's weird is, bro, it took me a couple years ago, maybe right at the time when I started my business, to really understand that all my uncles was entrepreneurs.
Okay.
The only difference was they didn't have a business.
Right.
You know, and half of that could have been because they weren't taught to have a business.
Speak on that. Speak on the differences in that.
Okay, so I'm gonna go the legal route with it first. Two of my uncles cut grass, paint, fix houses, fix everything, handyman, and they were just doing it. Mm-hmm. They knew how to do it, and they knew how to do it good, so they did it for money. But I feel they didn't have that mindset to be like, okay, I have a legitimate business going here. Right. Let me get business cards. Let me get the right equipment. Let me do this. Let me do that. They just knew how to do it. So they've always been able to go get money and make money. So I always seen it, but I didn't even know that's what because I didn't know either. I didn't know that was what they were doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just thinking they going, oh, I got to work. You want to go to work with me? Then take me to work with them. Sweep up the trash or sweep up the leaves or sweep up. And they literally got a legit business going right now that they don't understand that they got a business. They're just trying to make money. So you see that, but then you also see even drug dealers. That's why I try to tell a lot of my people that I know who, still, dibble and dabble. Like, if you can do this, bro, you can have a business. Right. Because that's all you're doing. Right. And you're doing it clearly you're doing it very, very good. Right. So invest that time into something that's going to come back legally and you can make that money legally and not have to look over your shoulder or nothing like that, because you clearly had a mindset. Because I feel like the only people that understand entrepreneurs is entrepreneurs. That's a fact. And it didn't make sense to me at first, but it's just certain conversations you can't have with people who don't see it like you see it. Who won't look at it like I start like. Okay, I'm sure you're gonna get into that, so I'll let that minute. Oh, you go ahead. But, like, as far as when I first became an entrepreneur, and things weren't going so good, and times I went to go apply at jobs and look for jobs, and then it was never a problem with me getting a job because my resume is good. I don't have no criminal history, nothing like that. So going back to go to work wasn't nothing. I could always go apply at a job and get called back. So you get the call back, go to the interview, and they offer you the amount. And you know how all of us do when we get a job. You're like, okay, I'll make $14 an hour times 40. Okay, my first check gonna be boom, boom, what's boom. The first checks looking like? My first check gonna be boom, boom, boom. Add that times 2. Okay. And this is after I started my business. I done made that in a day before. How can I go back to something I done did in a day legally and do it for 2 weeks and be away from my kids and not be able to do my schedule how I want to do it, or not being able to just move how I want, or if I want to say, man, I'm closed this weekend, I'm not feeling it, my mental not there, I don't want to go to work. You have to call an employer and say, hey, I'm not coming in. And what they gonna ask you? Why? What you mean why? Why not? Right. I don't want to. And it's messed up to have that mindset, but that's why I feel like I can never go to work, because I have that mindset. Daddy,
what about the corn dog?
I'm knowing the person who owns this company you work for didn't do nothing no better than you. They may have just had a few more resources than you to get where they're at right now. But they started down at the bottom too, as far as trying to build their company. Yeah, it's funny, man, because you was just talking about your job experience and stuff like that, and and you had to finally jump off the porch and get into your business. I always remember, because we've had a relationship, so I remember you working, working your 9 to 5s, looking for different jobs. I remember going down to Columbus trying to find something there. I remember, you really going, to different jobs and things like that. And I do remember, I remember when ABC started, but I don't know if I ever remember you really talking about like the idea of like, yo, I'm gonna start this cleaning company. This is what it's looking like. Yada. So where did the initial idea of even like start a cleaning company even come from? Like where did that idea spark come from? Google, YouTube. Really? You just typed in what business is good to start? So when I first quit my job, I didn't have a plan, bro. I didn't have a plan. Like, it was just, I was like, the job I was going to, They was making me, they'd make me work at 8 to 9, then they'd make me work at 3 to 11, then they'd make me work at 11 to 8. I'm like, man, come on, man. Y'all got to give me a better schedule to this, because my kids, they had an age where they need to see me more. At least I need to see them. Like, they need to know, like, whatever you thinking about doing at your age right now, I done did it. But if I'm at work, I can't stop you. I can't even say I can stop you from doing from not being at work. But my presence is a little bit different. You know how it is, like, being a teenager, you be like, my dad gonna be at work from here to here, here to here. Right. I know when to be at work.
Right.
So when I first quit my job, I didn't have a plan. Actually, Monte, you know, everybody know Monte, a good friend of mine, and he had started his phone store. This is when he had first got the store. So the initial plan was for me to, you know, quit my job and then work there part-time. And then, so I quit the job. I started learning how to fix phones. It go like 2 weeks, and I go to bro, like, hey, man, what's up? Like, I'm ready to start work. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready. I learned. He like, you got to learn how to fix a phone. So I learned how to fix a phone or whatever. So I'm like, what's up, bro? I'm ready to start work. Anybody know Monte know how funny this going to be. The way he looked at me and what he said and how dumbfounded it left me. Like, bro, what are you talking about? This was the plan the whole time for me to quit work and come work for you for part-time. But bro really looked at me and said, bro, you want to be a boss or a worker?
Anybody who know Monte know how funny this story is.
You want to be a boss or a worker? But he said it with the most straight face ever. And I'm looking like, bro, we had a full conversation about me coming here part-time, you know, so I can figure out what I'm going to do and blah, blah, blah. Amber on my neck now, she done held it down for a couple months now. She just said, like, yeah, get yourself together. You know, I'll hold it down for you, which is one of the most important things about my business. Having that spouse that's going to look out, not even look out, just be there, you know. But so I'm like, bro, what's up? Like, he like, I mean, you can work here, bro, but this is what I can pay you. And I'm like, all right, man, you know, I'm not about to sit up here for that. You know what I'm saying? But as a business owner, we not friends right now. You asked me for a job, bro. You ain't asking me, you know what I'm saying, to be a co-owner or nothing like that. So you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you know what, bro, you know, never mind. I'm just look for a job. But then I just one night got to Googling and looking into stuff. I think I put like top 10 ways to make money. So when I first started this business, I definitely didn't plan on it being a business. It was a way to make money. Like, it was a way to not be broke and not have to resort to doing nothing stupid. So I'm like, a cleaning business. Okay, cool. So I don't know, a couple, like 3-4 years back, I had started something called A Better Akron. It was so much like negative stuff going on, and we really didn't have nothing positive on the internet at the time. And like, I was just sitting back and I came up with A Better Akron. I can't tell you how I came up with that. And I started promoting that. And then that A Better was just, when I came up with the cleaning name, it was just like A Better. You could put anything behind A Better. Right. And make it better.
Right.
And make it better. So that's how I came up with the name ABC, because it was like, okay, you got A Better Akron. So I first initially called it A Better Akron Cleaning Service. And Monte was like, nah, that ain't it. Take the Akron out. And then you got it, ABC. I'm like, yeah, man, that do ring. So that was very much the backstory. Is like, when I started, man, I didn't have a plan. I Googled those things, and cleaning company came up, and I figured, and it was the cheapest as well.
So let me ask you this: Would you suggest that people who may be in a position like you, they may have a job, but they want to really get into the business route, having their own business, would you suggest them to quit their job and just try to make it happen?
That's the hardest question to answer, bro. that honestly, like, and I got that question a million times, but like I said, number one thing is your situation. I didn't have money to last if I was out of work for a year, but I also knew in the back of my head, I can always go back to work. Like, if it all falls down, you can put in a job application. So for people who say, ain't no jobs out here.
I like what you're saying, man. You really giving a lot of game and a lot of gems and really speaking a lot of life in the situation. Number one, like, I like that you just said that, like, man, you can always get a job. Like, companies and jobs, they're not going nowhere.
They're not nowhere.
going back a little bit, one of the main things I really like that you said was, listen, I went to Google and I typed in the Google search, you know, how to make money. You know, we have access to these phones all day, to these computers all day, like YouTube. Like, there's ways to figure this thing out. You know what I'm saying? That's why, like, when I hear people talk about, like, you know, not having time or not knowing what to do, and not just people, you know, who maybe our age, not even just young people, older people. I'm like, man, you have so much access at your own hand right now. All you got to do is go on to Google, go on to YouTube, and type in what it is you want to do. And 9 times out of 10, there's a video, there's some steps, there's a know-how of how to figure it out. So I like what you're saying, man, because being an entrepreneur, like you said earlier, everybody's not going to understand that. But being an entrepreneur, you have to find ways to be adaptable. You have to find ways to, like, figure this shit out. And I really like what you're saying, man. It's really, you know, a lot of game and a lot of gems in there, and I know a lot of people gonna get a lot of value out of that. I want to talk to you a little bit about what you was just going into, also about the branding aspect of it, and, you know, the creativity behind the name, and how important, you know, the name of Better Cleaning Service, like, you know, what that name and that branding has actually meant for you, because I think that is a very crucial part, and, like, you know, business is the branding part, you know, is the something that's going to be catchy, something that people going to be able to, you know, gravitate to. So talk to me about, like, you know, how that name in itself has helped you with branding, how it's helped you, you know, with, like, you know, getting customers, and, like, you know, just helped your overall business.
I like for some reason I like marketing, bro. I don't care what it is. I like selling stuff. It ain't even that. It's like I feel like I gravitate to people. Like, I gravitate to people. Like, I know how to talk to people. I'm respectful. You know what I'm saying? And the name, like, a better, like, first of all, that was some of the research I did. They said when you look into starting a business, because I had some crazy names, man. I had my last name, I had my first name, I had all my kids' initials, and I had all this different stuff. But I did more research about naming your business, and it's like, hey, I look back, like, I thought about it on the old people side. If you look in the phone book, what's the first letter you're gonna run into?
A.
So
okay,
you in the front of the phone book now.
Right, exactly.
And then what's the second letter?
B.
So even if they forget the A, the B right there.
Yeah.
What's the second letter? C.
Yeah.
So ABC, one, that's something that's when we've been hearing that since we was 5.
Right.
ABC. So
right.
Just with your brand and a name people can remember, like, when somebody hear it, they know what know what you're talking about. Even if they haven't ever used my service or whatever, if you say, hey, I need my carpet cleaner, somebody be like, not call Tone, call ABC.
ABC.
Even my friends, hey, ABC, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just something. It's easy. It's easy to remember. It's catchy. It's easy to design and play with when it comes to marketing and your flyers. And it's just, it makes sense. Like, you can be like one time I used it on the internet. Somebody said they got Stanley steamers and it wasn't done good. I said, yeah, see, you could have got a better cleaner. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could have been better.
Right.
So they laughed at that, got them as a customer. Because now in the back of their head, even if I don't got them in the customer, next time they think about their carpet cleaning, they're going to be like, hey, I remember dude commented on my status and said, go to that better. Let me go see what he about. So it's just.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, man, I love that, man. It's simple, it's catchy, and it's like, you know, it's something that we all, you know, can relate to. Everybody should have, or most likely has, learned their ABCs. And like, when people hear the phrase your ABCs, to me that automatically thinks of, like, school, but it also makes me think of, like, you know, things being simple. It's not really that hard, you know. So I love tying that into a business, man. And I like how it's, like, really authentic to you. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think that's very important, you know, when coming up with a brand.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
We just started this whole conversation, bro, and I broke my carpet cleaning machine out on you.
That's a fact. That's a fact. You did.
My first appointment was you, bro.
Yeah.
Fresh out the box.
At the house on Oakland. That's right.
I broke at 1:00 in the morning.
For those who do not know, I was moving out, and I was trying to clean this house as much as possible, man, to get it, you know.
All right, y'all, I have a wife.
Hey, it was the summertime. I needed some help. I said, hey Tone, man, can you know what I'm saying? I need this carpet clean, like ASAP. He like, it was so funny is he was like, bro, if you want me to just help you clean your crib, I'll help you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't to come clean. I'm like, no, I need the carpet clean. He's like, all right. And you came through the middle of the night, cleaned it. Like you said, that was your first time. But to me, man, it's just important to, like, you know, number one, spend money with Black businesses, number one. People opportunities and chances. Like, why would I go spend some money with Stanley Steamer, man, when my homeboy got his own business? Like, you know what I'm saying? And you know this better than I do. There's no better business referral than word of mouth.
At all. That's everything.
You know what I'm saying? So if you
That's
do
everything.
Of course I'm gonna tell 4, 5, 10 more people, and they gonna tell 20 to 50 more people. You know what I'm saying? So that's very important. Did you ever have like any sales experience at any job?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
You know, I used to work at the Remix for everybody that has a music store. So I guess I was selling CDs, but most of that was people coming in. But I guess Sterling, you know, say it wasn't sales, but you're trying to get money from people.
Right. Collections,
yeah. And collections, man, if you work in collections, people got to realize you're going to get so many no's.
Talk about that.
I was going to, no, that's what I was about to get to. So you're going to get so many no's, man, and it's like, you get used to hearing no so bad, you thirsty for a yes. And I use that with my business. I mean, I'm going to post all day, man. Y'all going to see it. Might not be booking, but you're going to see it. So you seeing it and not booking, and you got carpet, and you know it's like be done, you might not call me today. But if you see it enough, you know for a fact you won't call me. And just getting those help with that, man, because it's like you go into a commercial building and you trying to get a job. I mean, you trying to get a job, but you gotta think about it. They got their own expenses. So maybe they do want to get their carpet clean. But they're not gonna get it clean at that moment if they don't have the money to get it clean. So they'll tell you no then. But if you leave a good impression when you leave, when you come in, when you leave, they're gonna always think that, okay, I had this guy come in 2 months ago. They might like, oh, let me see. Let me look at that car. I got that car somewhere. So they're gonna eventually say yes. I feel like ain't nobody's no a no. Like
people are, I think we are trained to like be scared and to be fearful, man. People are devastated by rejection. I was listening to like one of my favorite podcasts, Earn Your Leisure, last week, and he was talking about like, you know, people just fear of rejection. And he broke it down as simple as like, look, why do you think that in high school, you know, the most attractive girl always has so many options? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's because she's used to telling people no. Like, you know, when you tell people no, other people are going to like, you know, gravitate towards that some type of way. But you're afraid of hearing that no, you're not giving yourself a chance. Like, the no literally only is just one part. Like, you know what I'm saying? That no can turn into a yes. You know, the no.
It can. And I want to say what my uncle always told me, man. If you don't know a question, ask, because it's only 2 answers. Yes or no.
Yeah. And so would you say, because the reason I asked you about having sales experiences, man, because, and I learned this also too, in like the, you know, becoming an entrepreneur and the journey of that, is that like, you know, from like a book perspective and like what they would tell you, like what you should be doing, a lot of people would tell you to like get some form of sales experience. But it sounds like for you, like, you know what I'm saying, you didn't necessarily have so much sales experience. A lot of your life experiences helped you, you know, and turn into, you know, this business and really, you know, applying basic things, like, you know, asking for things, you know, marketing things in people's faces. What would you have to say to that?
I agree with that, bro. But I feel like when you every level in entrepreneurship, you hit a level where you gotta learn.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? You be like, man, you might be good at marketing, but you're not good at sales. You might not be able to go knock on the door and try to get the business, but you can make the phone call over. You can make the call over the phone and talk proper. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You might not have the same presence. So I feel like school definitely will help you run a business. You don't need school for it, but it definitely prepares you. But it's more so life experiences as well. Certain situations you've been in, sports, tough situations.
Yeah.
You down.
Yeah. Adversity.
Y'all lose, you run.
Yep.
If you fight back and it still lose, you fight back, coach gonna be a little bit less like, okay, y'all tried. Y'all ain't just give up on me. But if you just go out there and lay another egg, we running. And you gonna, and your mental, man, practice gonna be terrible tomorrow. I don't even want to go.
Yeah.
So things like sports help me with that. Being a point guard helped me with that. Because you gotta like, I'm bringing the ball up. I'm the first. I generate everything that's going on. So I feel like I always had the leadership in me, but it is certain aspects that you may not have but you won't know you don't have it until you get to that thing, and it's what you do when you get there, how you adjust to it. And it's all about adjustments. You can lay down and be like, man, I ain't about to learn that, man. This is too much. I give up. Or you can go learn it. Like you learn how to edit.
And speaking of sports, it's just like, it's just like Brown. Like Brown was always good at attacking, passing. But at some point in time, he had to get that post game to his game, to get them chips in Miami. Like, you know what I'm saying? He had to learn to add things to his game to make his whole package, better.
I gotta figure this out. I got something else coming. Boom.
Yep. Exactly. Talk to me, man, about just the overall mindset of an entrepreneur. What do you think, like, maybe if you had to narrow it down to like maybe 5 or 10 principles or values that like you think that all entrepreneurs should have, what would you say they would have to be?
Patience. That's the number one thing. Consistency. A strong mind. Not listening to other people telling you how to do what you want to do. If you want to do it, if you fail doing what you want to do, it's cool. You never fail because you learn. So strong mind, not listening to the outside, because you'll hear so much, especially if you just quit a job and not have no steady income. People don't understand. People don't understand what you're doing. People don't understand, or they don't understand. Yeah, I had 10 appointments this week. So in the mind of somebody on social media or something, it's like, you made a lot of money this week, but you didn't know. My machine broke down. I had to put gas in my van. I had regular expenses just like you.
Right.
Except this is money where I'm actually going out to make this money. So a strong mind, a strong core. When I say core, I mean the people that's around you, like to keep you going, like a spouse or a sibling. You definitely need a mentor. Which I feel like everybody should have is a mentor. You should find a mentor, somebody who's been through it. It's tough around our age group because I feel like a lot of our older generation or the generation right before us, they're still trying to figure out themselves. So it's hard to give me game or hard to give us game when I'm still trying to learn the game.
Were you able to find a mentor in this space, in the carpet cleaning space?
Carpet cleaning, I won't really say mentor. I've had a lot of people reach out, not just carpet cleaning business and everything. And see, the thing about me, bro, is I listen to everybody.
Okay.
I listen to everybody. And if it applies to my life where I feel like I can apply it somewhere, I might not say it then and there, but it's in the back of my head like, okay, he said he did this and this messed up when he did this. You know what I'm saying? And then so now when people come to me, because it's weird, like people come to me about starting a carpet cleaning business or a cleaning business or a business in general, thinking I know the answers when I understand what them older people saying is like, I'm just now learning. But what I do different than the older generation is I'm going to tell you where I messed up at starting off.
Okay.
I'm going to let you know, okay, this is where I messed up at. I can't tell you how your road going to be, but this is what I feel like I could have did, or this is what I did wrong, or this is what I'm doing wrong at the time. Because you should always know, for all the good you think you're doing in your business or whatever you're selling or whatever you're branding off, you should know the bad. You should know what you can improve on. If you don't know what to improve on in yourself, you're not going to be successful. And I'm not saying you got to have it, but you got to know.
You got to know.
You got to know. You might not have the money to do what you need to do, but you know you need to do that to make your business to a different level. Like, if I had this, I know if I had this, I'll be here with it. So you can't be like having everybody on you saying, yeah, you doing good, man. You got successful. Like, it might be successful to them because it's not their money behind it.
Right.
It's not their time behind it. It's not their late nights behind it. This is all you. So have that strong mind and keep going when it's time.
What about any other black carpet cleaning companies? Have you ran across any anybody that's kind of like reached out to you to try to give you any type of game?
Man, honestly, when I first started, brother, he got 4 seasons carpet care, and like we help each other out a lot. But he was one of the main ones. He our age, he's my age, so that was a little different too. And we've been supposed to like just put something together for like 2 businesses, but like the relationship I have with him, like I tell him, is I like where our relationship at, and I don't want to let business affect it, because when money get involved with anything, you know what I'm saying? Of course, you're gonna have your differences with certain stuff, but like now you're talking money, talking about another person's life, you're talking about another, you know what I'm saying? So you can say you can go into the relationship saying, oh no, we ain't gonna be like that because we cool. But when money get involved, it's different. But brothers always like, if I had a appointment I felt was too hard, I can call him. Use this chemical, bro, or try this, do it this way. Or he even come with me to the appointment and try to show me how to do it. He definitely was the main one that's been reached out and still reach out to this day. He definitely, if one of my machines break down or something, bro, go use one of mine without a problem. No questions. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I always look out for him, because he always look out for me. Yeah,
that's good. Talk to me about, well, the other day I seen you post a quote on Facebook. You said that and I loved it too. You was like, man, being a small business owner, you know that you got to have some money saved for a rainy day. And what that made me like, not only did I really like you saying that, especially during the time that we in right now, but it made me think about, your situation specifically. You have always said, how much and how good your wife Amber is with money. Like, you've always said, man, look, man, she's super good at saving money. Like, I even remember the one story you told me, back in the day where you had found some money, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it just made me think of like, what you've been talking about throughout this entire thing of like, the importance of having like good core around you and like, people who are good at certain things. But talk to me specifically about like, what Amber means to you in your business and the importance of like her being good with money and how important that is to you in your business.
Man, when it comes to saving money, like as I always said, bro, I used to say this since I was almost 25, 24. It's like, I'm blowing money and she's looking at me like, dude, like,
right,
you might have it, but you don't have it. Right. If that makes sense. Like, so, she, she's a manager at what she does at her job. So I feel she knows how to manage the business. I always joke with her, but I be serious. But I'd be like, hey, man, if you ran ABC like you ran Chuck E. Cheese, I'd be a multi-millionaire company right now. Like, I be joking, but I be dead serious. But that goes back to saying, like, everybody doesn't have that entrepreneur mindset where she, like, her answer is, all right, give me a reason to quit. I'm waiting for you.
Right.
You feel me? So just having her around, man, she, hey, did you buy your chemicals in bulk? Why do you keep going to the store, or why you keep ordering your chemicals one at a time? You're wasting money. Order them in bulk. That way you can save $15 or $20, and that $15 can go towards this. Right. Or you can put it towards this. So her managing the money helps me a lot because, like, I suck with money. I told you that all the time. My mom not really good with money, so I think that's where I get it from. But just my wife being good with it made me, all right, now let me budget. Like, all right, man, hold on. All right. Now I got extra money now because I ain't did this. I ain't do that this month. I ain't do this week. Oh, okay. So that just helps the business because I might have a week where I make a lot of money. Then I have a week where I don't get a phone call. So you got to have something to cover that week you don't get a phone call, and also have a mindset, okay, like, what am I not doing? What's not working right now? Why aren't people booking appointments this week? What's going on in the world? Okay, like this type of stuff you got to know. Like, okay, people ain't get paid this week. Everybody's payday is next week. This type of stuff I think about when I'm not busy. What can I do to let them know, hey, I'm still cleaning the carpet.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to have money for that, because if you just sit back and not know what's planned for that week, you'll be messed up, I feel.
Yeah, 100%, man.
I don't know if I answered the question 100%.
No, you did. You did.
But
did.
Just like just her being good with money is just it helped me learn how to be good with more. Not even be good because I'm still learning, but learn how to budget better. Learn how to know, hey man, take care of priorities first. Or if you take care of priorities first, you take care of all your priorities first before you do any BS, you will see you really ain't got money.
Right.
So if you BS first and then you got to pay your bills, you like, oh man, dang man, I forgot about that bill.
Right.
Don't forget about that bill. Forget about that bottle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Pay get everything out the way first. Then really see how much money you got left in. Your kicking gonna be a little different. And the first day you get paid, you pay all your bills instead of the first day you get paid, you kick it and then pay your bills on Saturday. When you pay all your bills on that Friday, you will see. Hold on. Account ain't looking as good as I thought it did.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
My checking ain't as fat as I thought it was after you done paid them bills. But you go kick it and you really sick. Like, dang, I gotta pay bills now. No, instead of pay the bills, then be like, oh, now I gotta kick it. Oh, now I can't kick it. Yeah. I ain't kicking it.
I think one of the main things that you saying, man, is that, like, you know, the importance of having somebody hold you accountable. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
being a young teen, man, bro. I mean, I get joked about all the time. Like one of the youngest stepdads in Akron. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
But I still didn't grow up at that same time because they weren't fully my responsibility in my head at first.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as the years go on, everybody know the situation. Like, not where we at now, but like first 4 or 5 years. I mean, in the back of my head, I can still live how I want to live because I don't have any children biologically. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still immature in my head. But her on the other end, oh, she got to take care of these. Regardless wherever you doing in your life, my guy, yeah, that's cool. But these my kids, and I got to have something for them.
Right.
So it took me a minute to catch on to that. I mean, you know, it took a couple of years because, you know, then I had my son. So it was like, even his first, like, maybe year or two, I didn't have that mindset where it was, boy, because that's what I was. Dude, like, chill out. Like, can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So they say women mature faster than men. And I totally agree, because I'll be seeing some stuff with people that's 40. I'll be like, hey, man, hey, you a wild boy, huh? Hey, you a wild boy, man.
You ain't lying, man. You ain't lying, bro. You're not lying, man.
You're a wild boy. So
again, I was having a conversation like that with Sierra a little bit earlier, man, as well. You know how women mature a little bit faster than guys. Tell me this, man. How important is, like, because you was just talking about your family and your kids and stuff like that, and you know, Amber said, listen, we got to make sure we do right for them. How important is, like, you know, legacy, you know, for your kids? Like, you know, because I don't know if you have any ideas of, like, you know, wanting your kids to end up doing some of this business with you one day, you want to pass it on to them. But just the overall just concept of, like, legacy and, like, you know, doing things to put them in a better position. How important is that to you?
Bro, honestly, one of my best feelings in the world since I started my business was Meech coming home from school so geeked because he got me an appointment. And it wasn't the fact that he got me the appointment, it's the fact that he even talks about it. Or him coming home like, hey, Dad. So, and this is why I had to really chill out with, like, cussing and stuff. One, because I got a business on social media and stuff. He like, hey, Dad, I Googled your name and I see nothing but your business. I was showing everybody. And he's like, your Facebook came up too. And I'm like, what was on? He's like, no, I just seen your business stuff. All right, cool. So I'm like, okay, now he looking into, like, okay, did my dad really got a business? Read one of his reports. I want to be an entrepreneur like my dad. You know what I'm saying? This ain't nothing. I just sit down like, hey, bro, yeah, you know, this gonna be your business or whatever. Little do they know, like, you know what I'm saying? Half of that is half the reason I'm happy I have a business, because when they turn 16, or 14, 15, 16, like Anoff ATL, you ain't gotta have a dope boy. You ain't gotta be a dope boy to have money.
Have money, that's a fact.
Because if you 15, 16 years old going to work and you ain't got no bills or nothing, and you have parents that gonna teach you how to stack that bread, you're gonna be one of the most up kids by the time you turn 18.
Right.
If you ain't buying your little shoes, you buy some shoes, go ahead and get fresh, whatever you're gonna do as a teenager. But for every pair of shoes you buy, however much that pair of shoes is, you need to have that saved. So you ain't buying them shoes. If you ain't got 160 saved, so not 160, if you ain't got 160 twice, you can't buy them shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we weren't taught that.
Mm-hmm. You right.
We weren't taught that. And then if something was to happen to me today, I feel like at the end of the day, they're going to see that van sitting out there with that carpet cleaning equipment, and they either going to sell it and make some money, sell the name and make some money, or try to do this.
Right. I love that, bro. I really do. I love the fact that you said, look, it ain't even got nothing to do with me sitting him down and like telling him, having a conversation. He just seen you do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he sees, like, you know, he sees like the importance of it. He sees the value in that. That's so important, man. Go ahead.
So about 6-7 months ago, I applied at the post office.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was about to be the winter time. They was hiring like crazy. They were paying like $18 an hour or something like that. So I'm like, man, I can go make, you know, stack a couple dollars, scrap a couple checks. You know what I'm saying? But then the shift was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
The shift was like 8 to 6, or 7 to 6. Sometimes you work 7 to 7. Post office hours.
Right.
And bro really looked me in my face and said, why can't you just grind harder at what you do? Bro, what are you saying, bro? I'm not going hard enough. I mean, you're going to get a job. You clearly.
Right.
Now, how can I go get a job, bro? How can I go back to work after that?
They hit you in your soul?
It got to. If it don't.
Right. Something wrong. Yeah, something wrong.
Bro, you about to go back to work. First of all, I like you being able to go to the gym with me. We go to the gym. This when he started his basketball. AAU. So you telling me all that's about to stop because you don't want to grind harder?
Man, I think what you matter of fact, I know what you're saying is so powerful, which is, you know, again, man, going back to like, you know, why I really wanted to have this platform, you know what I'm saying, is because I know the value of, like, you know, people having their own businesses, and like not just for the adults, but for what it means to the kids. You know what I'm saying? If I would have seen somebody like have their own, establish their own, like from a business perspective as a kid, like my mind would have been totally different. Now, granted, that just wasn't the cards God had dealt for me. And here I am now at 31, and I'm able to, you know, do things a little bit different. I'm able to see things a little bit differently. So I'm not tripping, but I just know the importance of, you know, of having somebody in place so kids can see it. And what you're saying right now is right up that alley. Like, you know what I'm saying? Your son, 13 years old, and he already seeing the value. He already talking about that's what he wants to do. And he knows it is real. Like a lot of times, you know, us as kids, black kids, they talk about they want to be an NBA player, want to be a football player. But how many of y'all actually know an NBA or football player? How many of y'all know? No one. Like, your son is living with one. Like, that makes it so much more real for him to be able to achieve that, man. So I love what you're saying right now.
So I want to go off of that because I had a conversation with a guy. He's a great guy, man. He's a great guy. He looks out for me when it comes to advice and everything. He's a Caucasian guy.
Mm-hmm.
So he calls me up one day and he was just like, hey, man, I see you doing your business. I love it. I see what you're doing. I see it from afar right now. I want to have a conversation with you or whatever. So we was talking, and he was like, do you want to be rich? And I'm like, I mean, who doesn't want to be rich? You know what I'm saying? Like right. That like, of course I want to be rich. Like, that's the goal. He's like, no, do you want to be rich with your business? And he like, I'm like, of course. And he was like, well, you got to stop being an a-hole on Facebook. And I'm looking and I'm like, I knew exactly what he was talking about. He like, all that rap music, all that other stuff. He said, that's not like, what customers want to see. Or like, I think I had put something up about Donald Trump that he was talking about. He like, yeah, you might feel that way about Donald Trump, but think about the customers you losing because they love Donald Trump. But I piggyback on stuff like this, like you said, it's somebody just like me or a kid just like me that grew up like me who feels you have to act that way to be a business owner. You have to suck up and be sedity, and they don't see the real. Because they don't see the real them because they're not around them.
Right.
Because y'all have that side. They have that side as well. They act like that too. They just, you're not around them. You don't see it. But a kid that sees me every day like, man, he lived by me. He got his own business. Or my mom got my carpet cleaned by him. Man, you know how many kids stop me in the store? Like, hey, man, you clean my mom's carpet.
Right.
My kids in school like, hey, your dad cleaned my mom's carpet or whatever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That they see that. Like, from where we come from, we don't see nothing like that, man. When people acting cool like that have businesses or interacting with the kids or making people laugh or like, I actually kind of like, I ain't gonna say kind of, I definitely took his advice. I knew what he was saying, but after I sat back, it's like, I can't stop being me for money.
You gotta be yourself.
I've had people inbox me saying like some of the stuff I post made their day. On that mental, you don't know who scrolling through and see your post and laugh. They've been sad all day. They've been down all day. That's the type of stuff made me feel good. The money money makes me feel good. Don't get me wrong, but somebody telling me that I make them feel good, I uplifted their spirits, I uplifted how they was feeling at the time, or why I stopped posting because when they look forward to going to my page and laughing. And not saying I'm a comedian or nothing like that. It's just that kind of stuff means something to me. Like, I made somebody smile, I made somebody laugh, like made somebody feel good.
And you know what, Tone? Like, I'm glad that you stopped and said that, because I think, well, I know that's for a fact, that's one of the qualities that I have always appreciated about you, man, that you've always been a giver and a server and somebody to help. And what you talking about right now is exactly that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I cannot stop being my authentic self if I know it's going to help somebody, like, not just to make somebody feel better, just so I won't hurt somebody's feelings. Like, I can't do that.
And I'm not some of the stuff. If I post something about Donald Trump, I'm not doing that to hurt nobody's feelings, because that's like me saying I don't want to clean their carpet because they didn't like Barack Obama. Right. How would I sound as a business owner if you call me and I say, "Who you vote for?"
Right.
Who you vote for? Oh, I can't clean your carpet. They're gonna make one comment about me on my business page and it's over with. Right. So that shouldn't determine nothing like that, man. But I also understood from his aspect, he don't see it like that. He didn't go through some of the stuff we seen or some of the stuff we heard that, bro. Matter of fact, having a job at McDonald's to us as kids was like, that's like working.
Oh, that was everything,
bro.
Yeah, that was everything. My first job was at Burger King. It was lit,
bro.
Yeah,
your grandma's talking about you so good. You got a job at McDonald's.
Yeah. That's a fact.
You know, ain't working now.
Yeah,
you ain't working down at that McDonald's.
Bro, what I had to take hella pictures in my BK uniform. Think I did,
bro. That's glorified to us.
Yeah, you're right.
A lot of people not doing that. So for somebody the same thing to have their own business, they gotta see it's possible.
Yeah, you're right.
It's possible, man. It's not. This ain't no. I'm not no guy that went to school 4 years and got a degree and drive a Rolls Royce. No, I live an everyday life, but I have a business. And if you not saying you should be an entrepreneur, because I would never throw entrepreneurship on anyone. And it's tough to say, but if somebody has the idea of becoming an entrepreneur, I encourage you. Anybody coming to me for advice, I encourage you. I say what to do, how to start, LLC, all that. But if you really don't want to do it, you shouldn't do it, because you'll get too down on yourself. You'll feel like a failure. I feel like you'll feel like a failure. You wouldn't want to try something else.
Right.
Because the same guy I just told the story about also gave me some great advice about a business. He said, man, any business I ever had that failed, I just started a new one up. Yeah. And guess what? Everybody laughed at Donald Trump, but that's what he did. Yeah. That's what he does. One business fails, right before it fails, he take a line of credit out of it and start another business right before that one crashed. Now y'all can have that one. I got this one now. different LLC, everything.
Yeah, man, you really dropping a lot of gems, man, and I know people gonna get a lot of value out of what you saying, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I think a lot of people don't have any idea, but they're gonna be able to connect and resonate with what you saying, man. So you really doing a, you know what I'm saying, hell of a job of giving a lot of value. Talk to me about some of the misconceptions that either you may have had or just people on the outside have when it comes to starting a business. Like, what is some stuff that people think goes on and they don't have any idea?
How easy it is to start it.
Right.
Bro, how you can wake up one tomorrow and literally have a name and register into the state of Ohio and you're a business owner.
Right.
I feel like people think it's like 10 steps before you actually become a business owner when it's really just one, and that's starting. Mm-hmm. And that's just doing it. That's the first step to becoming a business owner.
Yeah, that's the most important. That's the most important too.
If you get an LLC, you're a business owner.
That's right.
So I think that's the most, like, that is hard.
Right, right.
The hard part is staying in business, keeping a business. The easy part is starting. That's the easiest thing. I think that's, since I started, I think that's been the easiest.
Right.
But I didn't know that. I mean,
right.
Monte having his business helped, you know, he told me some steps, but a lot of it I had to Google and say, okay, oh, I got to put this in the LLC. What's an LLC? Limited liability. Oh, what's the difference between the LLC and the other stuff that be a nonprofit? Oh, I didn't know a nonprofit wasn't supposed to make money. They just give money. Okay. You got to know the difference, but you learn that just read. If you read, it's crazy how people don't read. It be right there in front of you.
Right there. You
and
right.
Another thing I want to tell people, the downtown, when we open back up, the downtown library has a whole section on starting a business. And then they also have the marketing, the printing tools where you can go make flyers and banners and everything.
Oh, wow.
So, for free. You use it for free. For free.
Wow.
They got a studio too for every rapper. But
I did know that. So,
along with that, bro, they have a whole business section where they step by step on how to start a business, how to market, how to everything. And then they have the printing station where you can go downstairs and design. They got a graphic designer down there who will help you with logo, everything. And they offer all that for free.
Wow.
I never used it, but like I was going to the library a lot doing work, and I seen it and I asked them, and they was telling me, yeah, like all this available to the public, but people don't take advantage of
it. Yeah. Tone, man, thank you so much, man. You've been amazing, man. You done provided a lot of value, not just to me, but I know that when people listen to this, man, they're gonna get a lot of value out of this, man. You know what I'm saying? So I really appreciate you coming on, telling us your story. And really, again, man, giving a lot of value and a lot of game to, you know, what the ins and outs of the business really looks like. You know what I'm saying? Because again, man, going back to, you know, one of the reasons I wanted to start this platform was to highlight entrepreneurs, because myself, you know, really learning and getting my feet wet within the business realm, I knew there was a lot of other people like myself, man, you know, who went through some of the same struggles I went through and really had like some positive things to really be able to share, man. And you was one of the people who I thought about immediately when I thought about this platform, man. So I appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate you, bro.
Oh, no problem, man. So I end the podcast the same way every trip. I got a few questions that I want to ask you to end, and then we're gonna get on out of here. Cool? That's cool with me, bro. All right, so the first question I got, man, is I hate New Year's resolutions, but I do love intentions, man. I like being intentional, man. You know, I'm a big mental health advocate. Like, I just like being intentional about doing things. Like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is that you want to do, being intentional about putting it out there. So what are your intentions for 2020?
What's crazy is everything got altered and changed it to a better thing, starting with this coronavirus, man. Like I said, spending more time with yourself, you realize what you need to improve on. Mm-hmm. I don't really want to get too deep into what I'm improving on myself or what I'm really doing, because I want it to be done in a couple months. Yeah. But I'm definitely working on myself. I've been doing a lot of self-thinking and putting myself more. And it sounds selfish having a family, but you really have to take care of yourself before you can take care of anybody. Because if your mental ain't right, you can't take care of nobody. You can't guide, you can't lead, you can't tell someone, you can't guide somebody. People won't listen to you because you're not all the way there. So I definitely seen a lot of things about myself that that was out of character. If that makes sense.
I like that. I like that. What does the phrase "live your purpose" mean to you?
Back to that, man. What's your purpose? If you was to die today, what would people say about you? What mark did you leave on the earth, man? Like, you can have all the money in the world, but was you a good person? Was you when somebody at your funeral, they're gonna have to make up a story, or they're gonna have genuine laughs? Is people gonna laugh or cry at your funeral?
Right.
And when I say laugh, I'm not talking about like, ha, he dead. I'm talking about every time you think about what the type of time you had with that person, they were always good times. Like, it's not too many people that can say they've been around me and we didn't have a ball. Like, what we was doing. Right. How many times we've enjoyed ourselves, like laughs and stomach hurt laughs. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of stuff I want to be remembered for. Or I got ABC, my kids got it, but the type of person I was is the main thing for me.
Yeah, I like that, man. What is something that people will be surprised to know about you?
I found a new fawn of hunting. And hunting, bro.
Really? Like animals, like hunting animals?
I ain't going out in the woods. I got this.
What kind of hunting you doing, bro? What type of hunting you doing?
Xbox game, bro. I got this game on Xbox, bro. Like, that make me want to go in the woods, but I see how tweaky it can get. But like, it's crazy how hunting tests your patience, bro.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Because like when you hunting, okay, so like basketball, we constantly going up and down the court, we hoop and we shoot. You doing something at all time. Hunting, man, you got to be quiet. You got to be patient. You might not see an animal for 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then when you finally see one, you got to aim, hold your aim, hold your everything, be patient, breathe. Because if you shoot and miss, you done waited 20 minutes for no reason for you to finally see an animal and miss.
Right.
It's weird, bro. I'm telling you, man, that's one of the
That's dope, though. That's dope. That makes me think about, like, I told myself, man, my granddad is a super big fisherman. This summer, I'm taking
the boys out, bro. And
I got to, like, man. I got to. That's what makes me think of that.
My grandpa gave me this fishing pole, bro, and he gave it to me for Christmas when I was like 4 or 5. And I still got it downstairs, never opened or nothing. But he was a big fisherman. And also, come to find out, I probably like hunting because him and my uncle used to hunt.
Really?
So it's crazy how, like, your roots, like, it come down to you. You don't even know that.
You don't even know.
Yeah, you don't know that's where you got it from. You know, my granddad, he's not alive. Like, well, my grandfather on my mom's side not alive. So, but we did talk before he passed about some of the stuff he liked to do, and hunting was one of them. But it never was in my mind. Like, I want to hunt. But I played the game, bro. And it's just so dope how, like, you gotta have, like, it teach your patience. Like, you get so frustrated. He's like, man, I ain't seen a bear all day. You know, all you hear is roar. So now you gotta hunt. It's hard, man. So,
that's dope. That's dope, man.
I like hunting, y'all.
That's dope. That's funny. What scares you?
It's tough, bro. But I really would say nothing.
Okay, that's good.
I'm not gonna say I don't have any fears. It's nothing that I'm too scared of to not face.
Okay, that's good. I like. It's okay to be fearful, man, but you gotta face it though.
Yeah, you gonna have to face it. Like, it's nothing you can hide from, man. It's nothing that you really can avoid. Like how people talk about the corona. Yes, it's steps you can take, but what are you doing to prevent yourself from getting it? You can be scared of it all you want. Sitting in a house being bundled up ain't gonna stop it.
Right.
But you worried about the corona, but you still ordering out.
Right. 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 You ain't changed up nothing really at the house. None of that. Yeah. Yeah.
You ain't changed nothing you was doing. Like, it's people work. You know, people making your food, right?
Right.
You worry about this person you walking by every day, but it's the person that's making your food that might have it. But that ain't stopping you from going to spend that $20 at McDonald's.
Right. You ain't lying. You ain't lying.
But that is bro. Like, I feel like you shouldn't be scared of nothing, because whatever happened on life is already written out for you. If you carry yourself a certain way, certain stuff gonna approach you, and you handle it accordingly, like a man or a woman. Right. However you got to do it.
What's your favorite quote?
My favorite quote: never let somebody tell you what they couldn't do. Never let somebody tell you what you can do because they couldn't do it.
I like that. I like that. That's a fact. And you gotta have that type of mindset. Being an owner, being an entrepreneur. That's a fact. I like that.
Just because they couldn't do it, they're gonna try to. Hey man, when I tried it, it was okay.
Right, they don't have nothing to do with me.
Nothing to do with me, and that's honestly what's crazy. And I don't mean to try to get off topic, but it kind of that quote remind me of like why I'm starting to see as far as mentally why people think Jordan was better than Bron.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Bron, if you see this, bro, you the GOAT. You the GOAT, bro. Don't not book me for saying this, bro.
He hedging his bet, man. Come on, man. Go ahead and speak, man. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead and speak.
But Bron was given all the ability to kill.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan didn't have a certain thing, and he went and got it, regardless what it was. Like, he wasn't strong enough to play against Detroit, so he kept losing to him. Whole summer, I'm lifting weights.
Right.
I'm not quick enough to play with the Lakers.
Right.
Whole summer, I'm running miles. I'm running hills. So he going to get it, like, because they told him he couldn't. You 6'6", bro. You too small.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just fast and strong as y'all because I'm gonna work for it.
Right.
But other than that, that's the only reason I would give Jordan over Bron.
That's
just to clear that up.
What's the best advice you ever received?
Best advice I ever received. No, when you're a kid, they always tell you like you can do whatever you want to do, and people don't. I think a lot of people don't believe that because some of the stuff they wanted to do, they didn't get to do. But I feel like if you really put if you put the work in of anything, I don't care what it is. If you put the work in, you're going to learn how to do it. Like I don't think you're gonna meet one person in the league that say he made it to the league by not working out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like I ain't work out. I just hooped all the time.
Right.
Like, yeah, you might have hooped in middle school and high school, but when it was time to like really figure out if you was gonna get drafted or not, you had to learn how to do certain stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you had to put the work in. Just putting the work in for stuff, man. That's all.
Yeah. If you could call your 20-year-old self, man, and tell yourself, give yourself some advice based on what you know today, what would you tell yourself?
To my 20-year-old self?
Yeah.
That's middle vertigo years. Honestly, man, you gotta have. Honest opinion to me is you gotta have them years.
Yeah.
It's not really no advice you can give to a 20-year-old.
Yeah, you gotta just learn it.
You gotta learn it.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna do it anyway. You're 20.
You gotta go through it.
You're still a kid.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I'm about to turn 30 in August, and I'm realizing 20, you're still a kid. So when they say when you turn 18, you're grown, no.
No, not even close.
You're not close.
Close. You're not even close.
Especially as an African American male.
Very good point. Good point, Tom.
We can turn 18 and we won't get that assistance that an African American female will get.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We won't get. I mean, we probably could, but the process will be a little long. You don't have to take care of. You're not going to get this apartment down in Channelwood, or you're not going to get this apartment in Spring Hill. We're not giving you an apartment. So what we got to do, we got to stay with our parents. So we still getting baby. We still not understanding. Like, yeah, you grown now, bro. You got to take it. And that was part of South Carolina. I had to be grown. I wasn't ready to be grown. Like, I'm not ready to be grown. I want to kick it. I don't want to pay no bills. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? You 19, 20 years old. I don't feel I have no advice for my 20-year-old self because if anything, I would say stay in school, but ain't no telling where that would have led me as well.
Right. That's good. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Tell us what you got coming up, man. You know, tell everybody where they can find you, your social media tags and all of that. I know you had told me that you considering to start a podcast. You definitely got to start one. I think you're good behind this camera, man. You know, I think you'll be good in front of the camera. I think you should do it, bro. So I support it. But tell everybody what you got coming up. What's your goals for ABC, social media tags, and all that type of stuff, man.
So, funny thing about the podcast, I definitely ordered my mics and everything to get that started.
Good.
Another thing with the podcast, and like I said, by the time this come out, it should be all under the wrap, so it's cool. So I'm using, I don't know if everybody been noticing, but I've been doing the quarantine question of the day, where basically I'm involving people. So eventually what I'm going to do, I'm shutting that all the way down, and you're going to have to listen to the podcast to find out the question of the day. So basically I'm leading that up into the podcast, leading that up to building that brand as well. ABC, just changed the logo. If you guys haven't noticed, I definitely just changed the logo. Shout out to Ill Will for doing that. We came up with that together. It's like it's the same logo, but a little bit more spark, a little bit more people can see. It's more pop. I'm looking to learn different things. It's besides carpet cleaning right now. I've been testing out with hardwoods, ceramic floors and everything, because I've been hearing every time I go in the house, can you do this? Can you do that? And I should never be able to say no.
Right.
I should never be like, that's money you missing out on. Why don't you? That's part of it's part of carpet cleaning. But so, that's something else I was telling you I've been working on, like myself, with learning different things with that. Got a Mother's Day special coming up, 10% off for all mothers right now. If you want to get your mother's carpet clean, let me know, because you do still have a credit with ABC, my guy.
That's a fact.
And that's pretty much it, man. Podcast, just becoming a better person, better father, getting my mental together, man. So after coming out of this, I should be way sharper, ready to make some moves, man. Ready to make some moves. We ain't had nothing else to do.
Man, I love hearing that, man. That's good. Give everybody your social media tags, man, where they can find you, all that type of stuff.
Instagram, _better_cleaning. Facebook, a better cleaning service. Email abccleaning330@yahoo.com. Telephone 877-405-2209. Think about my number. I like the best is all my kids' birthdays.
Oh, that's dope. Dope. Figure that out.
A lot of people don't know that. So the 877, that's a standard business line. But the 405 is April 5th for AJ's birthday. January 22nd, so that's the 2209 is Meech's birthday, and 09 is Maddie's birthday, May 9th. So my telephone number is my kid's birthday, so I got to get rich off of it one day.
Wow, yeah, that's crazy, man. Look at God working, man. God just be sitting back laughing, man. That's dope, man. Well, listen, man, that's a hell of a way to end it, man. So thank you, bro. Appreciate you coming out. Now I do one more thing before we get out of here, man. One of my inspirations for starting this podcast, you remember him, he used to play in the NFL. Arian Foster used to play for the Texans as a running back. He actually started a podcast a few years ago. It's called the Now What Podcast. But he also does a lot of things with music, rapping, writing, producing, and doing a lot of stuff like that. And on his podcast, what he did was he would also have his guests lobby for Jim Carrey to come on his show. Jim Carrey was like one of his most favorite people, I guess. So he would always have his guests ask for Jim Carrey to come on his show. So my way of just kind of like, showing love and appreciation and my inspiration, with learning from Arian Foster is I have my guests look into their camera and tell Arian Foster why he should be on the Live Your Purpose podcast. We're going to put it out there into the world, into the universe. We're going to get him on the podcast one day for sure. So I have everybody just look in the camera right now and tell Arian Foster why he should be on the Live Your Purpose podcast.
Arian Foster, man, I really think you should join this podcast and come on with my guy John, because he's going to open your mind. He's going to make you think about stuff you haven't even thought about as a business owner or as an entrepreneur. He definitely has great questions. His questions are set up perfectly for you. And if you're not ready to answer, you got to be on P's and Q's, though, man, if you're going to come on. But we definitely want you on, because I would definitely watch that interview. I would definitely tune into that. So please, please, please join my guy's podcast.
My guy, man, appreciate you listening, man. Tone, I appreciate you coming out, man. Again, man, special shout out to all the essential workers. Everybody stay safe, practice the social distancing. Also, like Tone was saying this whole time, use this time to sharpen your mind, sharpen your mental, man, sharpen your spirit, get close with your family and your kids and all that type of stuff. Use this time wisely, man. So special shout out and love and blessing to everybody affected, due to Corona. Another episode in the books. We are out. Live Your Purpose podcast.
Appreciate you, bro.